We must fight corruption. We must fight fraud and collusion.
In his first State of the Nation address in 2018, following former President Jacob Zuma's exit, President Cyril Ramaphosa presented a promising future of the Rainbow Nation, which would be free of the shackles of corruption. He used a song by the late jazz artist Hugh Masekela, Tumamina, as his theme, a theme that has since become his nickname to some in the country. This promise of a change in South Africa, however, seems to be short-lived. Since 2018, the government, led by Ramaphosa, has been embroiled in massive scandals that have changed the face of corruption in the country. The COVID-19 pandemic, for example, saw corruption that adversely affected the lives of South Africans, a common consequence of endemic corruption.
We live in one of the most unequal societies in the world, but we live within the context of a constitutional democracy that promises us the progressive realization of socio-economic rights. These are rights relating to the right to water and sanitation, the right to education, the right to health care. When we see the type of pervasive endemic corruption in the country, it's really at the coalface of service delivery where we see corruption impacting upon the lives of ordinary people.
Despite a slight improvement, unemployment continued to add to the country's woes. South Africa's unemployment rate was at 33.9% in the second quarter of 2022, down from 34.5% in the first quarter, and a record high of 35.3% in the fourth quarter of 2021. To this day, many citizens still sit at home without any prospect of employment.
It is very difficult to not be working. People end up turning to crime and people love crime. Life without money, you will not survive. I tried to get work, but I saw there are no jobs. I'm a builder, but I cannot get a job. They gave it to foreign nationals because their labor is cheap.
Crime remains high, with gender-based violence and femicide very much prevalent. The cost of living continues to rise. The country also has one of the most unequal school systems in the world, hampered by challenges like crumbling infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, and relatively poor educational outcomes. Poverty, inequality, and unemployment are increasing.
I think it is important that we understand that the current climate in the country, high levels of dissatisfaction, problems within the economic and political domain, the uncertainties and anxieties and the tensions that exist, creates an absolute ideal situation for exploitation by so-called subversive elements.
The rolling blackouts have thrust the country into the spotlight again. For the second time, Ramaphosa had to cut short his international trip to attend to the energy crisis in the country. This is despite previously stating that it was a thing of the past.
The CEO of Eskom, Andre de Ruyter, has said load shedding can be solved. And if we all work together, and I agree with him, we all have to work together to address the problem of load shedding. And they are doing as much as they possibly can.
With the list of problems continuing to mount, solutions have been hard to come by.
There is no national plan to address these challenges of poverty, unemployment, inequality. It doesn't exist. One of my fears, comrades, is that one of these days, we're talking about this with Comrade Mohammed, we're going to have our own version of the Arab Spring.
Elections are just under 2 years away, and the pressure is mounting on the Ramaphosa-led ANC. As things stand, will the ANC still emerge victorious, or will attempts by the opposition to oust it succeed? Only time will tell. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Johannesburg.